Well, greetings everybody and welcome to part 3 of the opening stage of Le Tour de Splash. This is the Team Tom Trial Day and our first glimpse at all of the 12 teams that are competing in this year's competition. At checkpoint 1, Slaughter and Son have stopped the clock at 30.275 seconds, doing very well there. Bals Frigdy in second spot there, and then Sherlock Holmes in third. When we go to checkpoint 2, it is Bung Ho Liquor, who started off 7th fastest at the first checkpoint, have actually leapfrogged a bunch of people to get into first position there and have a almost 3-second advantage over their second place Slaughter and Son there. It's the second checkpoint. Hooker Cockram, who were 10th fastest at the first checkpoint, have moved up to 7th and are starting to look the goods. At checkpoint 3, Bung Ho Liquor continues on their lead of the race, 1.4 seconds in front of the second place Power Genitalia, who had a very poor second checkpoint but have moved back up into contention. Hooker Cockram, we noticed, was 7th at the second checkpoint, have moved up to 4th now. And Ditcher Quick and Hyde, who had a very bad second checkpoint, are now 5th, looking good. Bals Frigdy, Plummet Airways, and Slaughter and Son have all had very bad sectors and are moving down. At checkpoint 4, Bung Ho Liquor has a 5-second lead over Ditcher Quick and Hyde, who have actually made very good progress through to checkpoint 4. Other teams to note there, we can see Slaughter and Sons have actually recovered slightly, going from 8th to 5th there, and Plummet Airways are still dead last at this point of the race. And then if we look at the final standings as the race currently stands, Ditcher Quick and Hyde moving from 2nd to 1st and leapfrogging Bung Ho Liquor just by a couple of hundredths of a second there for the first placing at the moment. So obviously Bung Ho Liquor have dropped down to 2nd. Other teams that have done pretty well in that last sector, STD Contractors improving to 3rd, Slaughter and Sons moving up 1 spot to 4th there, and Plummet Airways have actually leapfrogged Power Genitalia, who had a very disappointing final run there, with Skullduggery being held up at the final spinner for around 8 seconds, and that has severely hampered their chances. So as we pick up now, Lemon Auto Hire are preparing to take the track. We will throw you over there now. As Lemon Auto Hire hit the runway, off they go down the stretch. Slobtastic in the lead there at the moment there, as he prepares to come under the waterfall. Cumshot going through very quickly, and Arky DD as well. It is the boy that can't be named who actually gets onto the ladder first. That was a great move by the boy, and he stops the clock at a blistering 29.35 seconds. What an excellent first checkpoint for Lemon Auto Hire. Great job, guys. As the boy continues taking them down into the red section there. That was an amazing start there, jumping about 5 or 6 rungs straight onto the ladder without any problems. As he comes to the spinner now, he's been held up there. Slobtastic gets through the first spinner, and we are just waiting to see what happens after that. The boy going through, but Slobtastic is going to take his team into those ladders. As we switch back to Bals Frigdy, Rammerman Deep, trying to recover from the loss of Bendover. So that was very tragic for the Bals Frigdy boys, and that's cost them a number of seconds there. I would say at least 8 to 10 seconds with the loss of Bendover, as he was flying along the course. Rammerman Deep on the ladder first, and Mike Rochburns, I don't know if you remember, but he was actually dead last for that team at the beginning. He got held up badly. Him and Riano Cubes, Riano Cubes was actually knocked out of the race, but then we're following Deep as he goes through now at 9:51, so they are well outside. In fact, I don't think they're going to break 10 minutes here as Rammerman Deep hits the spinner. This is the spinner that's caused so much trouble to so many in this particular course, as Rochburns has actually gone through and Deep has actually been left at the spinner. So let's see if Rochburns, yes, he can't get under 10 seconds, and there it is, 10:01.590. They would be very disappointed with that, because they did look like they had a show, especially early on. As we follow Midnight Spares now down the course, our last team for this particular stage. So Aminya Shed leading the way down the opening straight and into the ladder. He is preparing to go. Just got a little bit held up there, but he made it on there okay. So the time to beat is a blistering 29 seconds. Let's see how they go as Aminya Shed comes over the line now, and they stop the clock in 6th spot at 30.977 seconds. But again, there is just a second and a half between them and the top spot at the moment. It's anyone's race still. Aminya Shed continuing to lead his side down through the red section. And off he goes down there. As he prepares to come to the spinners now, let's see how he gets through. And he has actually had a dream run through there, has not hardly been held up at all. And as he goes through into the red part, Oliver Handy from Hooker Cockram goes into the purple part and he's looking to stop the clock at the 4th checkpoint. Eaton Beaver, though, has taken over there. And Hooker Cockram, from last to first, 7:22.664. That's a blistering time there. They are making amazing progress down this course, and Beaver and Handy going head to head here, trying to get the best run for their team. Beaver negotiating the nail section of this yellow part of the course very, very well as he continues to move on and represent his team very solidly. As we switch back to Sherlock Holmes, who are in the black section with the veteran geriatric, trying to bring it home as quickly as they possibly can. And through the portal now, and back into the yellow section is Atrick, leading his side very, very well as Geriatric now comes into the ladder, and we can see he's got a big lead over his teammates there, so it's really been on him to actually do the work here. Leading into the gravity well, and then into the checker part of the course, waiting to get there. 9:22, that gives them a chance. Remember, the time to beat is still 9:44, so it really does depend on what happens at this spinner. Atrick gets held up badly, gets knocked back quite a bit, and can he get through this time? He has. So 9:38, so they could actually test this time of 9:44.380. It depends on how he gets up this hill. Still a few seconds to go, but they're actually going to record a pretty decent time here, I think. So the 9:44 is just about to pass, and they stop the clock in 3rd spot, 9:44.640. They are not that far off the lead there in 3rd spot. There is Regis Queefer and Slutdan Bagadix are taking the come down into the pink section. Let's see how Slutdan goes here to stop the clock here. Don't think he's going to get the top time there. He's going to be back in 2nd spot there. That's not too bad at all. 3:47.777. So that is quite a recovery from their last checkpoint. I think they've moved up about 3 spots there from memory, as Bagadix prepares to go into the purple section, leading his team very well there, as the boy that can't be named on YouTube is preparing for the loop-the-loop in the green section as they prepare to come up to the 2nd checkpoint, noting that the time to beat there is 2:03.714. And don't forget that Lemon Auto Hire were the fastest team into checkpoint 1, so it will be very interesting to see how they stop the clock. Looks like the boys been held up a little bit, allowing Slobtastic to catch up, but they stopped the clock at 2:05.895, so they have actually dropped a couple of seconds there on Bunghole Liquor, but they're still in very good position for the race. As the boy, Jackanoff and Slobtastic all lead themselves into the blue section, up the hill, and they'll be looking to drop down as quickly and as painlessly as possible here, because this is valuable seconds. Every time they miss a hole to drop down, it costs them time. The boy goes down very, very nicely, struggling a little bit to find some momentum to get through here, but he's managed to do so, and he's preparing to go into the gravity well at the end of the blue thing. But Jackanoff ended up leading them in, as Aminya Shed is leading his side, preparing to go into the green section there. 2:03 is the time to beat here. They're actually progressing quite nicely here, and I think they're going to stop it fastest here. They have gone in at 2:01.733, nearly a 2-second lead over Bunghole Liquor. Aminya Shed, you've done your team proud, my friend. That is an excellent job there. As we can see, the rest of his teammates coming into that ladder now. Aminya Shed preparing to go into the blue section, preparing to go up the ramp and down through the drop zone there. Now, can he get down quickly? He's moving with purpose, and he's gone straight down. Aminya Shed doing very, very well for his team, although he just seems to be drifting a little bit aimlessly around that drop zone there, but he's moved through quite nicely. As we flick back to Eaton Beaver from Hooker Cockram, remembering that they are currently in 1st place here, and it'll be interesting to see how they stop the clock when it comes to the end of the race. Eaton Beaver still got a handy lead over Oliver Handy, and he looks the goods at the moment. Their time is also wonderful, 9:11 at the moment, going into the last part of the course, 9:12, 9:13 seconds there. So they're doing a blistering time here. I think they will break this record here. Let's see how Beaver goes through the spinner, and he's through. That's excellent. So he's got 17 seconds or thereabouts to play with to get up that hill. He is actually going to smash the time of Ditcher Quick and Hide here. Let's see how he stops the clock, everybody. And yep, 9:33.660. That is an 11 second or an almost 11 second lead. That is amazing, especially when you consider they were last at the first checkpoint when they went through. Zlatan Bagadix into the purple section and leads his team into checkpoint 4. They are the third fastest time, so they're there or thereabouts. They're close enough if they're good enough, as Bagadix gets held up at the spinner there, preparing to go through the nail section of the yellow part of the course. So through he goes there, doing quite well. Woody Ryder and Scott Krebs are a little bit behind him, so he's sort of doing the job on his own there. As we flick back to Jackanoff and Slobtastic as they lead Lemon Auto Hire into the pink section, and the boy is close on their heels there. So we'll just be able to, interesting to see how they stop the clock here as Slobtastic comes in, and they have dropped down even further now, so they're at 3:48.920, but still, it's only a couple of seconds, 3 seconds maybe off the lead at the moment. If they can keep their team together, who knows where they may end up as they all go up together. Slobtastic through first, but the boy gets the better run out of the gravity well, and he's going to lead the team into the purple section. You said from Midnight Spares continues on his merry way. He's been leading his team like a champion. The time they need for this checkpoint here is 3:46.597. Can he get there? I think they're going to be a little bit outside that time. A little bit disappointing, this sector. And yeah, the time is going. It gets into the wall there at 3:50.654. So they've actually dropped down quite a bit there. Very disappointing there, as they were the fastest team going into the last checkpoint. So dropped down significantly there. As the mini shed continues to lead his side into the purple section. Bag of Dicks now going through the black section for Cumden, and we will see how well he can actually do to negotiate the rest of the course. Preparing to go through the portal now into the yellow section and preparing to go down the ramp into the dish and then onto the ladder down the bottom, which then leads us into the last part of the course. As he goes through now, he's going through the spinner quite effectively onto the ladder. 9:07 stopping at the top of the ladder, so remembering the time to beat there is a 9:33, so he's got about 24 seconds or thereabouts to get through to the end of the race. So again, it will depend on how well he can negotiate that spinner at the end. 9:23 into the bowl here. Coming up to that spinner now. He's got about 8 seconds to get there. He's been hit. He's been hit by the spinner and flung back, and this is going to cruel them from being able to even challenge that top spot now. And he cannot get through to save his life. There he is. He's finally through there, but I think he's lost about 8 to 10 seconds there. And obviously the time to beat has already gone for them, but can they get under the 9:44 that Ditcher Quick and Hide set? I think they have a great chance of doing that. So it's still 9:39, 9:40, and preparing to go under 9:44. They're going to do that easily. So 9:41.960, Cumden stopping the clock second fastest as the boy goes down for Lemon Auto Hire into the purple section and into the gravity well, which is checkpoint 4. And Lemon stop at second fastest, so they've actually made good progress there, but oh my goodness, the boy has been taken out of the race by the portal himself. He cannot get over that little ridge, and he is stuffed. So Donkey is coming through now, hitting that spinner and going through. That'll be very disappointing for Lemon Auto Hire because the boy was actually leading them quite well. As you saw, they were actually second fastest into that checkpoint. So how much is that going to hinder their final result here? Slobtastic looks like he's slightly ahead of Donkey as he goes through, but Donkey got the better run through. As we follow with Midnight Spares, Aminia Shed trying to find a way down. He does. So they are looking for 7:22.664 at the next checkpoint. They're going to go nowhere near that. That time's already gone. So they're continuing to struggle around this course after an amazing second sector. So it's very disappointing there. Let's see where they actually stop the clock here. So they are fifth fastest, so they're not too bad. But they are well off the pace. They're 7 seconds behind Hooker Cockram at the moment. Aminia Shed hit by the spinner there, but managed to maintain his momentum very well through there and into the nail section, and through that, looking ultimately to go through the house and then through the portal into the black section. Angry Nugget in second spot there, quite a bit away. As Donkey continues on, Gets held up by the spinner there, preparing to go through that portal down the bottom. Through goes now. He's through the portal into the last part of the yellow section, into the dish, and preparing to go up the ladder. I think they're going to be a little bit out there. Timing is just a little bit slow at the moment. 8:51 at that point. I think they're going to struggle here, although they've gotten through the spinner here quite well onto the ladder. And at the top of the ladder, remembering the time to beat at the last checkpoint or the finish line is 9:33. So they've got 12 seconds to get from here to there, which is very unusual, very doubtful. I can't see that happening. As Donkey continues on, yes, they're actually tracking quite slowly through this sector. Come Down's time of 9:41 is just about to go as well. So Ditch It Quick and Hide was 9:44. Donkey gets held up there. That's going to cost them further time, although it gets through without too much more hassle, and I would suggest they're going to finish about mid-table. As Ditch It Quick and Hide's time goes through, as does Bunghole Liquors and Sherlock Holmes' time. Yeah, so 6 fastest there, and that should be 9:48.300, just a typo there. My apologies for that. As Angry Nugget seems to have taken the lead over from Aminya Shed. He's taking the team into the yellow section, preparing to go into the ladder now. He's taking him a little bit of time to get on there, but he's done quite well. Aminya Shed's actually dropped back quite a bit there, so that's going to hinder their standings at the end of the race, I believe. So 9:20 seconds already there. Remembering Hooker Cockram at 9:33, the team to beat, and then I think we had to come down at 9:41. So they're the two teams that are far ahead of the others at the moment. As Nugget continues on into the dish, Hooker Cockram's time's already gone. We're coming up to the Cumden's time of 9:41. He's got to come up through the spinner. Let's see how Angry Nugget can negotiate that. He gets held up. He finally gets through, but the Cumden's time has already gone through. They're going to be looking to beat Bunghole Liquor, Ditch It Quick and Hide, and Sherlock Holmes' time of 9:44, but they're not going to be good enough to do that. If they're lucky, they may be able to get under Lemon Auto High, and they have done that. So, the team standings after Stage 1. Hooker Cockram stopped the clock in a blistering 9:33.66 seconds. Eaton Beaver brought the team home very well, but also some very valuable contributions by Oliver Handy in particular, and Wet Farts as well. The Come Down did well with Zlatan Bagadix bringing them home only 8.3 seconds behind Hooker Cockram. That Hooker Cockram time is amazing. Very, very good. Ditch It Quick and Hide, they had a very Jekyll and Hyde type course. They finished strongly, however, and finished 10.72 seconds behind the leaders. Bunghole Liquor just behind them after leading the course for many of those checkpoints. They just faded a little bit towards the end. 10.94 seconds behind. Sherlock Holmes, they had a middling type of day. They were a little bit inconsistent, but they came home very strongly and 10.98 seconds behind. Midnight Spares, who were ably led by Aminya Shed throughout the course, and then Angry Nugget took them over the line, 12.93 seconds down. Lemon Auto Hire, 14.64 seconds. They suffered when the boy that can't be named on YouTube was taken out by the gravity well and was unable to get through part of the building structure. STD Contractors, our second team to get off on the start of the race, dropped down to 8th, 17 seconds down. Slaughter and Sons, 19.48 seconds down there. Plummet Airways had a pretty bad day after a promising start there, 19.62 seconds behind. Power Genitalia pretty well got done over by the fact that Skullduggery got held up for about 8 to 10 seconds on that last spinner there. That 8 seconds could have taken them up to as far as 6th. So that's the thing with this course. It is very changeable, and there are plenty of things that can throw the spanner into the works there. And Baus Frigdy, a disappointing 27.93 seconds behind the rest of them after the first stage. Very disappointing for them. Bendover offered them a lot of hope earlier on, and he actually was moving through the course very nicely, but we lost him in the yellow section badly, and that really threw a spanner in the works of the team, and they never really recovered. So very disappointing for them, but remember, this is only stage 1 of a 21 stage race, so we will see what happens. So stay tuned for stage 2, which will be coming to you shortly. Thank you for watching.